Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time of the day it may be for you. You're tuned into Mother Base Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm one of your hosts, Todd, and as always, I'm joined by Alex Capello, Benny Garza, Marcos Martinez in spirit via his office in Langley, Virginia, and on occasion, when we manage to pry his cold, dead fingers away from his keyboard and mouse from playing Smite, Sam Chapa. But before we get into the show, we're sending a shout out to 99lives.com, a great site, a great service with great music that you can purchase and use in your YouTube videos and during your Twitch streams without a worry in the world. You just need to credit the artist. Simple, huh? While we're not sponsored or affiliated with them, it's still important to give credit when credit is due. So remember, go to 99lives.com to check out some awesome tunes like this one. Enjoy the show.
Gollum.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Oh, I forgot his name.
He's also in Planet of the Apes. He's in a bunch of like CG stuff.
No, yeah.
Wow, I forgot. I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry, cinema. I failed you.
I'm blanking.
I'd be laughing when Marcos is yelling right now.
Right, he probably is. He probably knows exactly. He's also in a game. He recently came out in
Marcos is in the game?
No, not Marcos. The guy who plays Snoke is in Volume, which is actually kind of incredible. That it's a very small. It's the guy. It's from the Mike Bethel who made
such a heavy drunk.
What's the name of that game? And I played it recently. It's about the block that moves around and talks. Wow, I'm blanking right now. Hard.
The block that moves around and talks.
It was a game that came out on Vita.
Thomas Was Alone.
Yes, Thomas Was Alone.
Okay.
If Marcos is listening to this, he's probably screaming at me.
Probably, yeah.
So they
got
yelling
at us.
They got the actor to play the villain in Volume, which is the next game that came out, which is all very much Metal Gear VR missions.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is episode 33.
Yay.
Yo.
We are old enough to
do whatever the fuck we want.
To get a divorce. We can get a divorce whenever you want, really.
Well, old enough to still be bitter about many things we didn't do.
We didn't do it in our 20s. God damn, you just hit it you just hit that perpetual nail into the perpetual coffin.
Yeah.
At 25, you're like, no, please stop. No more age.
At 25, you're allowed to stop caring about friends. Like, about whether you can make friends or not. It's like,
I think that's fair.
At 25, you already have your group of friends, and like...
It's not going to change.
If you can't get people to be your friends, then you know what, they shouldn't be your friends. You're at that point already.
I imagine, like, I've always heard people, like, on podcasts and, like, TV shows or whatever, talk about how, like, they're in their late 30s, and, like, finding friends in their early and late 20s is not super difficult, but in your 30s and 40s, it's like there's no point in making new friends.
Well, it's not that there's no point, it's that you stop caring.
Sure.
You're like...
Or it's so much harder to make friends when you're older, which is true.
Yeah, unless you're, like, trying to be a socialite.
Or you're in a job that requires you to make connections.
Generally.
Yeah. I've stuck with the same friends when I hit 20, I think after I hit 20, that's when I realized, okay, fuck these people, and I love these people.
I don't think I've made a new friend in fucking years.
That sounds, in the long run, in a short term, that sounds depressing, but it's like, I mean, if you don't want to, you don't have to.
I'll tell you what's the last time you made friends? When we stopped going to UTPA.
Yeah, probably.
When we stopped gathering at UTPA.
That sounds...
the top floor.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, well, that sounds right. Not familiar.
I met you guys, like, 3 years ago. 4 years ago. Around.
Maybe?
Because we met, because Mike would bring you to the store all the time. Yeah. Oh, there were times you guys would come in, like, after we closed.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And we would just shoot the shit.
Or just help you.
Thankfully, we never got in trouble for it, because they look at the cameras after we closed. We're not supposed to have people in the store afterwards, anyways, yeah. But we didn't start hanging out until, like, maybe 6 months later or something. I don't remember exactly.
I think the first time I hung out with you guys, we went to a Peter Piper. No. Pizza Hut. I'm sorry.
That's possible.
We sat down in a Pizza Hut and I was like, hi, I'm a dude.
I'm a dude.
I know Mike started bringing you around to his parties.
I think the first big one was like New Year's a couple years back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you, Sam, and Marcos.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much when like the actual friendship
Yeah.
started, probably.
When the cult started and
Yeah.
The Colts.
we
Started wearing the hoods,
The ring-
and the ceremonial
the ring.
daggers came out.
We started blood sacrificing to Mayron's Dagon.
Sure.
I sacrificed to Marigold. They don't fucking won't let me see him.
But yeah, friends. That's the topic.
In Halloween.
It is Halloween first.
Halloween
Friends,
the
the
first.
true horror.
Yeah.
Halloween the 1st. Fuck October.
Just, yeah.
Halloween.
31 days of murder goodness.
Ooh, it's good stuff right there.
Yeah, and then Watch I Die sometime this month.
Ooh.
Anyways,
It's gonna be a who done did it in Todd's bedroom.
I don't want to die in my bedroom. If I had the opportunity, I'd probably die.
Walking Corvo.
Then who's gonna take Corvo?
I don't
He's
know.
not gonna run back here. He's like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Is that a bird?
He's like, oh, he died. Oh, look at that
Is that a
cat.
bird?
Look at that cat. I'm gonna chase his car.
That cat looks cool.
Cat looks cool. No, he probably, for a long time, Corvo was scared of cats. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. We do have a couple of news items. One I forgot to add, which I will improvise at the end because I do have the article open. So you guys, as you know, just stop me when you want to talk about something. I will note that there's no Kojima news this week, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like in those factories where it's like that large like banner that says we've had so many days without incidents. We do every
This
week.
many days without Kojima.
We should do that. That should be a thing. At the beginning, we'll note, hey guys, on the board, we're still at 3 weeks without Kojima news. That's going to be good.
I should.
I will put like a small bit of news. He
Sure.
got a life-size alien statue.
Yeah,
Dude,
he posted it on Twitter.
I
didn't he?
have not seen it. Really?
It looks cool.
Yeah.
It's a xenomorph.
It's nice.
Xenomorph. Yeah.
Man, that guy's obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro is like, I see that.
That's a really nice statue, Kojima.
Maybe
It
we can.
would be a real shame if I put it in my museum.
Oh man, is that a permanent?
Yeah, it's a permanent
Oh,
museum.
man, that's in LA or is that in
I think
where?
it's in LA.
Probably LA. Makes sense.
I thought he had a personal stash.
That is his
He
personal
does.
stash.
That is his personal
Oh,
stash.
okay.
Yeah.
He put it in a museum.
And
That's
he just
fucking
makes
awesome.
money off of his personal stash now.
I wonder how much
He
they
has
charge
good
to go
stuff
in there.
Is that where he has the Demon Bound book
Yeah, I
that
think
a fan
so.
sent him? That's spooky ass shit right there.
I wonder if he's read that.
But bound in no, he hasn't opened it because he doesn't want to even like
Yeah.
like
He's a.
like even if there isn't demons, he doesn't want to like
He doesn't want to
push that.
He doesn't
that
wanna
evil
start shit.
juju.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't want to push that evil juju. where
I don't blame him.
it's a book bound in an unknown type of leather that he doesn't want to touch. I think it
Oh,
was
so he's
right?
never even touched it. He's
He's
carried it like
comes
it's in a-
like in a bag, and he put it there. Like
Interesting.
if I remember correctly, I don't remember too well. I remember there was an interview, and he was talking about how a fan had given him a book that houses a demon, and he can open it, and the demon will do stuff for him. But like it's a demon, so
just
but
because
nah, bro. I think we're good.
just because he deals in that stuff doesn't mean he actually wants to deal with it.
I mean, Guillermo del Toro is obviously Latin, like he's obviously a Latino, so he knows better.
Very
Man.
superstitious. Yeah.
He knows better.
you don't fuck with the stuff that's like
He isn't one
not
of
in the
those
realm of rape,
those white kids who go into the woods and just get themselves fucking murdered.
We heard there's a witch in here. Let's go.
Did you hear about the clown that finally got arrested?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Evil Woods clown.
You want to know something?
Oh, it's so fucking creepy.
There's now clowns in Waco,
Where's Waco?
Texas.
Waco, Texas.
Oh.
That's west of us.
They've spotted 2 creepy clowns in Waco.
It was gonna be worse. They were like they spot clowns running around like at a trailer park for old people. They were just like clowns running around at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
I really hope it's like this giant internet, like this giant organized internet bullshit.
It might be like an gorilla.
Then they need to
advertising
come
kind
out
of thing.
soon and say something about it because that's creeping me out, man. Waco, Texas.
Man, all I know is like if they come or like specifically down here, I see a clown walking around in my backyard, I'm gonna fucking shoot someone.
That's creepy because actually a podcast that I listen to is called My Favorite Murder.
Kind of insensitive.
Yeah, like they open up with just random stuff and they talk about 2 stories about 2 murders. And they talked about that recently, and so one of the reports is that that they were in the. What's the first area that the clowns were reported in?
I want to say it was Missouri.
Okay, let's pretend it's Missouri. There were clowns. It started with that clown with the balloons, right? But that more recently, it's that there were clowns trying to lure kids into the woods.
Yeah.
And that's also, I'm pretty sure kids are not going to go that way because kids
had candy.
Because kids are smarter now than they were 20 years ago. I hope.
But I have licorice and candy.
Even if I was 10, also
Pay no
I'm
attention to the knife.
Also, I'm scared. I'm scared of clowns. So if I was walking home from school through the woods, also parents who I'm pretty sure do not listen to this. If you have kids and you live near the woods, go fucking pick up your kids. Don't let a clown take them. I would not run their way.
We're gonna fly Marcos down, and we're gonna put him in a clown suit, and we're gonna have him climb up.
Oh my
your
god!
Window.
If that's
the day Marcos gets shot. We don't want that.
We're not gonna tell Todd when we're gonna do it, and he's not gonna have his gun out.
Don't make me fucking. Doesn't matter. It doesn't. I will throw something, or I will kick him off the roof, man.
The 31st of Halloween.
the 31st Halloween.
The 31st Halloween.
Yeah.
Crawling through here.
Yeah.
Marcos, there's paint supplies and a clown costume in the mail right now.
Now it's your turn to send him something.
Yeah, we'll send him a clown costume.
Please don't.
Dude, let's go to Walmart and send him a clown costume.
That's terrifying. So,
well, Marcos, wait. I want you to make contact with us in any way, shape, or form. Tell us what you want to be for Halloween, and we will attempt to make a costume about that.
Let us know that the clowns have not gotten to you yet. See, what if the whole thing isn't for it, and it's for? I know I'm not gonna put a sinister tone, even though it's Halloween. But what if it's for what's that awful movie called? Attack of the Killer Space Clowns?
Yeah, Attack of the Killer Clowns from Space.
Yeah, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. What if it's for a reboot for that movie?
That's an appropriate, creepy, very attention-driving campaign.
Yeah. I think that if there's gonna be a mass clown sighting in America, I'd at least want it to be for that.
Sure.
Despite Killer Clowns from Outer Space being just the most awful movie.
It's a D movie.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it is. It's considered a
It's
classic,
so
though.
bad that it's fun to watch, but it's still
I've seen it multiple times. It has made me laugh, especially inebriated.
Especially inebriated.
That's
when the nightmares appear.
Oh God. When does It come out? That's next year, right?
Oh, I actually think it's pretty soon.
Oh, and then I think they finished filming, so
Okay.
it's a year out. I think.
Yeah. No, they get
I don't know if I'll
movies
actually-
out fast.
I don't know if I'll actually watch that.
But
But
I kind of wanna.
I've read part of the book, so I like Stephen King stuff. But I'm glad we're talking about all this stuff. It's appropriate because it's Halloween the 1st. And if one of you ever says October again, I will kill you.
You heard him, Ben.
Spooktober.
That's okay, but I prefer Halloween the 1st.
Halloween the 1st.
All right, let's get into it.
So this is enough of a distraction to let Marcos climb through the window.
I mean, if he ever did, if he ever knocked on the window, I would be I would be across the street by now. If he ever did that, if someone ever knocked on my window, I would be across the street. A couple years ago, in the mornings, I would hear knocks, but it was from a bird. There was a bird that had a nest up here somewhere. Yeah, and I would open my eyes what the fuck is that? It's broad daylight, but still, It's what on the earth are we doing that?
I want Marcos blood-curdling fucking screams and just yell, "Todd!"
God.
I'm
not. You know what? I better. Ignorance is bliss. I'm gonna have headphones on all night. Let him just take it. I won't feel a thing. That had double meaning to it. All right, let's get into it before we go any further with the horror stuff, which we'll continue a little later.
Oh, spooky.
All right, so last week we didn't actually talk about this much, but maybe you guys remember a story of a wee little N64 emulator that made it onto the Xbox One marketplace.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So, this week Microsoft took it down with swift, sweet, and sexy vengeance.
Now, is that PTS, where if you already have it, you can keep playing it?
Yeah, so if you already have it, you can keep playing it.
Okay.
And I think they charge like $5 or $10 for it. I'm not too sure, but it's not available for download anymore, which is, well, if they didn't want to get into any legal problems with Nintendo, which even though technically Microsoft is a bigger company than Nintendo, it doesn't make it any more fucked up.
No, yeah, you can still get, doesn't matter how rich you are, you can still get sued.
Fucked, yeah. So they were right to do that. And actually, a couple months ago, there was even an NES one that showed up, but it didn't receive as much attention. Because NES emulation is kind of like just
You could do that
old
on
news.
whatever.
Yeah.
You can do it on your phone.
Yeah, but N64 being, obviously on the 3D side is a little more worth talking about. So Ben.
Yeah?
Hi Ben.
Hello.
Last week we talked a lot about Destiny with the Rise of Iron. We talked about that for a lot, actually. That's fine. No, it was great. It was a good talk. We talked about it for at least half an hour, I think.
This week we talk about how Bungie is currently on fire.
Right?
Bungie is currently on fire?
All
Even though they
Bungie.
leaked all the Destiny 2
There you go. That's what this news topic
Oh,
is.
yeah, I saw that.
So the rumor is that Destiny 2 is coming to PC. Yeah, well, I don't know about
PC,
Steam.
really?
Yeah,
Steam would be nice.
Steam would make sense because it's an Activision game, so they don't have a platform.
No.
Most
Push it on Steam?
yeah, they publish all the Call of Duty stuff on Steam, so it makes sense.
Steam.
And according to the NeoGAF thread, that it will have more populated planets among other things. You want to talk about that? No.
I mean, we can. It could be Russia and Saturn.
They're gonna put it on the Battle.net launcher. I'm sorry, Blizzard.tech launcher.
Blizzard.tech, yes.
But why?
Because they're under the same company.
Really?
Yes, Bungie.
yeah, Activision.
Dude,
Bungie owns
there's a
Activision
character
now.
named Zurios that needs strange coins in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, alright, okay.
They're under the same company.
I mean, there's also fucking Cloud Strife and Aerith.
In fact,
It's a collaboration.
what was it? Destiny has an expansion called The Dark Below, right?
Yeah, it's one of the smaller ones.
That was a Blizzard saved that title for Bungie.
Oh, that's cool.
It was when the talks about the rumors for the next World of Warcraft expansion come out. One of the things that they found was the Dark Below, so like of course everybody who plays World of Warcraft thinks, oh, it's going to be this expansion because of this and this, but it was actually them saving the name for. Yeah, it was them saving the name for Bungie.
That makes me wonder. I wonder if Blizzard has any kind of, aside from that kind of stuff, any kind of involvement in Bungie-related stuff.
I think they share animators.
Okay.
I think they go like some Activision animators will help Blizzard on some stuff. Some Blizzard animators will help.
I mean, they're part of the same company.
We've got to get the best dance moves into Destiny.
Into Destiny. Which actually, once again, made me realize that Activision, despite how much shit it gets because of Call of Duty, they have Infinity Ward.
Mm-hmm.
They have Blizzard. They have Bungie. Doesn't that make it basically the biggest publisher in the world?
They have a lot.
I mean, next to like in terms of status, like Nintendo and like Ubisoft, maybe. I don't know. EA too. I don't know. Like I'm just saying that they have less studios under their umbrella, but they're big studios.
So what you're saying is if Blizzard decided to make its own system,
like a console?
Yeah, it's just push.
And have 5 games on it.
Oh, you mean like an Activision console?
I mean, it could.
God, that'd be so fucking weird. I mean,
That
they basically
would be
need like it would be the big 4 instead of the big 3 now.
Yeah,
which technically they could probably do that. Maybe. Anyways, let's get into it then.
Start throwing elbows at Nintendo at Microsoft.
So the NeoGAF post alleges that Destiny 2, or whatever it's going to be called, is going to be released on PC, which is the first, right? Because the first game wasn't. Mm-hmm. Additionally, Vicarious Visions and High Moon Studios. High Moon Studios are the guys that worked on the Transformers War on Cybertron games, which are they're actually pretty decent. I've played some of those. Mm-hmm. Will reportedly assist in its development, which is not unheard of because, when Call of Duty started getting really big, they started getting all these studios to do, now they have like 7 different studios doing Call of Duty, or like they have like, for example, they have Treyarch do the single player and the multiplayer, but someone else will do zombies or like stuff like that. So that makes sense because Destiny is like a huge game now for them. So yeah, while dubious on its own, Kotaku has since collaborated that they've collaborated that this news from the NeoGAF, it kind of
very trustworthy.
Yeah, like they've had similar sources tell them the same thing. But yeah, so like I said, a couple of different studios working on it as well, which I guess makes sense because even though Bungie has grown significantly, they're not like Blizzard size in terms of how much manpower they have, I think. So they'd probably need more help.
A couple other things that they hinted were that the character classes might not be the same as the current ones that you get, and that they're not scared to just do a hard, like, your progress does not carry over.
Yeah.
Your fresh start.
You restart all over again.
They might even have a new cast of characters. And I'm sure if they decide to do that, I'm sure they'll explain it like the Traveler blew up. Everyone is dead. But wait, there were people that made their own Traveler and they're over here now. Yeah. Let's go look at them. And look, they don't have Hunters, Warlocks, or Titans. They have Shumagorath and bullshit. I don't know.
Shumagorath.
And with that,
the Marvel character.
Sure. Is that a Marvel character?
Shumagorath is like a green alien. Okay. That's a villain.
Yeah, man, it's in space. It's good enough.
So with what you said, it's probably true because the rumor is also that they're aiming to have the game feel like a proper sequel instead of a giant expansion.
An expansion, yep.
Yeah, so that makes sense. And that because of some reorganization that happened at Bungie back early this year, that whatever was originally Destiny 2's story has been redone, apparently.
Oh, apparently they have a large amount of the company working on it.
I would imagine.
Ridiculously large.
Because Bungie is not the kind of company that, like, splits off into two teams or stuff like that, like a lot of other studios do. They're all in the same thing.
Getting in it.
Which would make sense, because Destiny is... what was it? When it was originally came out, it was reported to be the most expensive game ever made.
Something like that,
Which... Thinking about it now, again, I haven't played that much. We talked about it last week. I don't know how that's possible because it doesn't seem like there's a lot.
I mean, the vanilla was lacking.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I mean, they're still supporting it. They're still pushing it. So
I'm not going to be surprised if like Chris Metzen didn't retire. He just moved to Bungie.
Well, he's retired from the game, from gaming completely. Yeah. So a couple more details. Let's see. Additionally, one of the new features in Destiny 2 is something called Play in Destinations, which Kotaku says would aspire to provide more populated towns, outpost quests. That's what's been seen already in Destiny's patrol missions.
Yeah.
So Destiny 2 itself...
this time it's more...
Yeah, it's more populated, and there's more stuff going on.
There might even be NPCs out in...
Which would kind of be ideal.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So technically, Destiny 2 hasn't been like formally announced, but the plan for multiple sequels was laid out a long time ago. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense for. I know you talked about it last week that you think that it doesn't. I think you disagreed that maybe it shouldn't come to PC, or someone disagreed about that. Maybe you said something
in the last one. We said it was like a crackpot idea. Like, what if? Destiny 2 now on PC, or I think we were talking about normal Destiny on PC. And then, like, on Monday, they're like, "Oh, leaks! Destiny 2, maybe coming to PC."
I think that it only makes perfect sense, especially with how expensive the game is.
You heard it here first, folks. We found out we are Bungie. I'm sorry.
You know what's funny? You're looking at the computer instead of the mic.
I'm trying to make it sound far away.
I understand.
Radio-esque and whatnot.
All right.
Also staring at the waves. See if I'm there.
You're there or
if
not.
I need to pick it up a little bit more.
I appreciate that. That's good for editing for me.
You heard it here, folks. Todd appreciates my talking.
I do. It's almost orgasmic. Wow. Weird. All right, moving on from orgasms.
I'm sure that sounds real good on that mic.
The opposite of clowns.
The opposite of clowns. Yeah, that we... Nope. I lost my chain of thought for a second. The next bit of news...
Clowngasm.
Is, well, unfortunately, the recent letdown for a lot of people that is No Man's Sky is in a bit of trouble.
Yeah,
over in the UK, as Hello Games is under investigation by UK agency...
For misleading?
Yeah, the Advertising Standards Authority, or ASA, for how the developer marketed the game on Steam.
But it should be noted that they don't do anything. They just say, hey, this is a little misleading.
Yeah.
Could you maybe fix it? They're not gonna, like... Hey, this is misleading. Now we're suing you. We're making a lawsuit right now.
They're not enforcers.
They're making an inquiry about it.
They had also mentioned that, like, previously or sometime back, they had done something where they picked up the price of a Grand Theft Auto game, I think it was, on Steam, and they put it in a sale. And they said, like, they picked up the price and they put it on sale. And the price that it was discounted as was actually the standard price. And, like, that was considered lying.
It's
That's
lying,
literally
basically.
lying. And they asked, hey, stop that.
That's basically what happens a lot during Black Friday, too. I think some of us forgot that Amazon makes games, too. Amazon has announced 3 games, a sports brawler, an MMO, and a third-person shooter at TwitchCon, which is going on right now as we speak. So yeah, they have 3 games in the works, all with Twitch integration.
They're making an MMO.
Cool.
Yeah, you want to talk about this? Or...
I actually haven't heard of this.
Okay, so we'll talk about it. So it turns out, again, I'm going to reiterate that the company has 3 major games in production. One of which is the third-person shooter, which they actually hinted back at a couple of months ago.
Any names or
I have details.
Okay.
So the first game, Breakaway, a 4 versus 4 mythological sports brawler hybrid. Yeah, it's not quite Rocket League. The game is class-based, hero-centric, like combat game.
It's the Breakaway is from the makers
of Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct,
the originals.
2013.
Yeah,
not Iron Galaxy.
No, they picked up the slack afterwards. Yeah. Okay. And there's some footage up online, which I saw a little bit, but there's also a registration for the alpha
there's also plenty of crap
that's currently open at the moment. And the next game is called Crucible. It's a third-person shooter where 12 players fight or shoot for survival on an alien planet, with cooperation seeming like a big part of the game.
This is the RPG?
This is
the FPS.
This is the FPS, because the other one's a sports brawler game.
Okay.
Yeah, the game, I guess one of the key components of Crucible is that the game will also feature a 13th player who can influence the game or group the participants in roles resembling a game master or a dungeon master. Or what's it? That dungeon master, right? Yeah. So that seems interesting. I'm actually really interested in Breakaway.
Unfortunately, we've seen with the fall of Lion's Head that the sort of like the outer influence games maybe don't work yet, but we'll see with what Crucible has to offer that's different.
I absolutely agree with that. And the last one is the MMO. It's called New World, which is described as a massive multiplayer open-ended sandbox game set in a living cursed land. The game is set in 17th century colonial America, which is
that's an interesting
it's
place for an MMO.
Interesting choice. According to the game's creative director speaking during the stream, which was yesterday, Friday, the era's supernatural beliefs will be real in-game. So it makes me think about stuff like The Crucible, as in the movie The Crucible, we said Crucible 3 times this past 2 weeks, and like stuff like The Witch, which came out this year, like folklore and stuff like that. That sounds really interesting. Or like Roanoke and all this kind of stuff.
I can see some potential in that.
It reminds me, just based on the description, I don't think there's any footage of this one, it reminds me a lot of that other MMO that wasn't too hot of The Secret World. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, The Secret World looked...
it looked
still around,
it had potential.
Actually,
People still play it, but it's definitely one of those that will maybe die out at some point. But it was like a supernatural kind of world.
It's very much like a cryptid Lovecraft mythos.
There you go.
Game.
In the modern world.
Which like I haven't actually, and I've been meaning to hit Secret World, but like the apparently the puzzles in it are
terrible.
Amazing.
What's the bad thing? I think people are complaining about the combat.
The combat is what's not good.
It's also free to play now, I think.
Yeah, it's free to play.
It's probably worth a shot.
Speaking of free to play, so Battleborn is apparently making the decision to move into free.
That was not.
Yeah,
that was not true.
So I didn't add it into the news because Randy Pitchford came out and said that it wasn't true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but at the same time,
there's going to be a free trial version though.
I think it's.
Please play get the game. Here's a nibble.
I think that.
Sure.
I guess it's a way to get the game sold. Maybe more interest.
Give it a try.
But I feel like a demo would have been even after the beta would have been something to release.
Yeah.
A week or two before the game, considering the colossus that is Overwatch that came out a couple weeks after.
I mean, releasing a free trial version isn't anything like...
You got nothing to lose there. You have everything to gain.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, even a titan like Overwatch is doing exactly that.
Absolutely.
So, it's just a smart marketing strategy. It isn't anything to do with...
At the same time, considering that Battleborn is a 2K game, I mean, they did the same thing with Evolve this year, and Evolve saw a massive resurgence of players, and it's at the top of the charts again, that's to some extent, and that community has thrived more or less ever since. So even though it was just a rumor, I would imagine that it's something they plan down the line at some point once it stops making money, which I would imagine to an extent it has stopped making money regardless. Because I never hear anything about the game, I don't even see it anywhere near the top 10 or like top 20 or 30 games on Twitch. Like,
how
there's some
bad do you
movement.
think they were left in the red?
Pretty bad. Well, this is the thing. I think that considering the success of Borderlands, that 2K said, make something you want, do something you want to do, which is probably why they did it. And we talked about this when the game was releasing earlier this year, that I'm pretty sure that they wanted to do something different. They wanted to get away from Borderlands a little bit before they make the next one.
I mean, it's a good thing. It looks nice. It looks promising and everything. It's just...
But Battleborn is by no means a bad game. Or
No, it's not.
anything. It came out at a very
just like Tomb Raider.
time.
Tomb Raider is an excellent game, but came out at a bad time.
Yeah.
The Smite developer Hi-Rez has a game called Paladins, which has been in, which is a third-person shooter. It's been in open beta on PC for a while. Well, now it's coming to PS4. They announced that this week on the PlayStation Blog.
If I remember correctly, there was something about a character in Paladins looking slightly like a character in a Blizzard game.
Overwatch,
Really?
Probably.
Is that why there was a lot of
specifically.
comparisons to that?
Yeah.
I
The thing is,
constantly-
apparently, from what I heard, they had released the idea and the skills and whatnot for that character, and then like 2 weeks later, Blizzard came out with the stuff.
Yeah.
But like no one brings that
Well,
up or something like
that's
that.
That's the thing. You can't bring it up because Overwatch was technically in development for 10
Way
years.
before,
Mhm.
way before Paladins ever came out.
For Blizzard's Project Titan. So,
Yeah, which is
like,
an MMO that will never be.
Well, yeah, Titan
Yeah.
became Overwatch.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So I've seen some footage of it, and I was talking to Sam yesterday as someone who's a hardcore Smite and high-res lover, and he said that compared to Smite, a MOBA, that he thinks that Paladins makes sense on console, and I think it probably does. As Overwatch makes sense on console, so
Yeah.
Paladins would. And I'm I'm drawing the comparisons. I mean, this is the thing. I just need to make my own conclusion. Come to my own conclusion, or have TV make a video about why Paladins is not Overwatch like he did with Battleborn. But yeah, that's coming out, and you can sign up for the beta that's going on, I think, soon. It's a free-to-play game, obviously, as well. That's why I talked about free-to-play games. Another game that's coming out, which I'm kind of excited about. I didn't play a lot of the first game, but I'm really excited about it, is indie game favorite Nidhogg. As newly announced 2017 sequel. Developer Masshoff just revealed that the game, titled Nidhogg 2, is coming out sometime in 2017.
with a very interesting art style.
Yeah. It looks
It's really goofy.
it looks really goofy, but that's fine. I
Yeah.
think what makes that first game... I mean, the first game, it's really about the gameplay, but it seems like they're really going for it, considering the success of it, with the second game. And it's something that's something I like to watch being played and like to play as well. Which is probably why I like Sports Friends a lot. Remember that? We played that a while back.
Sports with friends or
No, it's Sports Friends.
Sports Friends.
It has like those 4 games, remember?
Yeah, light sensitive. Do you do stuff with Wiimote?
So
Wiimote
Joust
V.
was one,
Joust.
which we only played once because we played on the porch one night. I think that was that night, the weekend you guys were over.
Mhm.
But the other ones were like Barra Ball and some other stuff were really fun games.
Barra Ball is super fun.
It's super
That was
fun.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like
that's a good
that.
couch co-op game, man. We're having a blast playing that
It
here.
is super fun.
Yeah, it is.
Which is why I want a Sports Friends VR experience.
I think that would be really cool. I think Joust would probably make a lot of sense with that too.
Yeah.
That way you could be like in different environments and stuff with your friends. But yeah, we should probably play that sometime.
Yeah.
One
Just because.
of these weekends we're at Mikey's or something. We just put a PS4 out there with a small TV, and because you just basically need controllers. That's
Yeah.
it. Oh well, you can use. So I would avoid using DualShock 4s because you can drop them, or just grab old Move remotes, which I have a bunch of too, because you can use those as well. Moving on, something I'm kind of excited about. So, Sunset Overdrive dev Insomniac Games recently stated that it wants to bring Sunset Overdrive to PC, but Microsoft unfortunately gets to make the last call on that because they did publish the game. The reason why they let Microsoft publish the game and be exclusive to Xbox is because Insomniac got to keep the rights to Sunset Overdrive, unlike the games that they made for Sony, which Sony owns. But I hope it comes to PC because I talked about it a couple weeks ago that I really want Halo to be on PC because that way I don't have to buy another console to play those games. But I never played Sunset Overdrive. I played it at PAX 3 years ago, fell in love with it, but I never got to play it. I never got to experience the entire game. I know it's not like a really successful one, but the color and the sensibilities of a Tony Hawk game, which I really love. So, next story, Wasteland 3 was announced this week. and they announced that it will have multiplayer and an XCOM style cinematic camera, which is exciting. Yeah. Wasteland 3 is like the prelude to Fallout.
Mhm.
You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, Wasteland 2 is on. I think you'd probably like. It's Diablo-esque. It's on PS4 and on PC. It's really really good. We have like two more stories. So this week, multiple Ubisoft executives said that we, as the audience, shouldn't necessarily expect Assassin's Creed or Far Cry games next year.
Oh yeah, I heard.
Which obviously this year it's an off year for Assassin's Creed. And there's already a Far Cry Primal that came out in January, so technically doesn't count. But I guess I'll talk about this a little bit. I'm totally okay with it taking 2 years off. I'm totally fine with that. As someone who recently has a resurgence of interest in Assassin's Creed because of Syndicate, I think 2 years would probably be a really good idea. And even then, I'm pretty sure, considering all the stuff that's going on with Vivendi, which I didn't add in here because that's heavily business related news, that they would want to clear up any kind of investment business related stuff before they continue on their bigger games, because technically Assassin's Creed is like one of their biggest games at this point. We've talked about this before, but real quick, I want to ask, what do you think is the setting for the new Assassin's Creed? There was rumors about Egypt.
There was a rumor about Egypt. I
heard China would have been amazing.
China
would have been interesting.
Actually, I think China would be a really good place. I'm like, this is more of a hope than anything, and I think they might hit it eventually. But I wanted Japan. Assassin's Creed set in Japan would be pretty great.
Didn't they explore like Russia and some other, like Japan, I think, or China with
Russia
a side scroller? There's a side scroller.
Yeah.
Chronicles, I think was the name of the game that came out, which wasn't people didn't like it.
People said that like China looked nice, and it would have been very interesting.
I think China would make somewhere in the Orient would be really interesting.
I think we've had this conversation
quite a few times,
yeah. But just talking about, because I don't really talk a lot about Assassin's Creed, but it is just a really interesting story and premise. So I do appreciate it and like it for what it is, and I have played a few of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one that always keeps coming up was a World War II setting.
Yes, which I really hope is something that they consider. And minor spoilers, but there is a moment in Syndicate where you travel as Jacob through a tear in time. Jacob is one of the assassins of the two siblings, and you go into a moment where you play their daughter. Mm-hmm. Or like his sister's daughter, or like granddaughter in World War I. It's in the same city. It's in London still, but you interact with Churchill and you interact with some Nazis or early German like infantry or whatever. And that was interesting because I didn't expect that. But I think that World War II would makes perfect sense for the series, because I mean they go into these
like they've already in the game, like I think as early as Revelations they state that it's very much probable that Hitler had an Apple of Eden.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he was obsessed with the occult. Like, I think, when was it when Black Flag came out? Mm-hmm. And on Mother Base, I had this like entire idea, and we had a very large conversation. This is like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. We had this giant conversation, and I had this whole idea in my mind about what it would be like, and that you would play an aide to Stauffenberg and his like attempt to kill Hitler, which obviously he did not kill Hitler. Tom Cruise failed to kill Hitler. Spoilers. But yeah, I think really, honestly, anywhere they go, I'd be totally okay with, I guess, in the end. As long as they do it right.
Yeah, there are a few places where it wouldn't work. And
I think modern day wouldn't work. I mean, at that point, you're just basically Watch Dogs.
I think
modern day.
Yeah.
Somewhere in India would be interesting.
I mean, you'd have to at one point do modern day so that you can move into future assassination.
Assuming they would want to do that, because technically they already did with Assassin's Creed 3, where there are moments that you play Desmond extended in the modern day, which I never finished actually because that game was garbage. But yeah, anyways, 2 years is fine. Also, I think it's time to give Far Cry a couple years off, because I like Far Cry a lot, that I don't want it to be watered down. Because I don't want that, because Far Cry, I think, is a pretty great shooter.
Well, I mean, specifically, Far Cry is a unique formula of bad guy, Now you're stranded.
Yeah.
Go kill everything and make cool sweaters and bags and shit.
kill the bad guy.
And now kill bad guy.
And then that's it.
And that
Sweaters and bags and shit.
I mean, that's what you do.
You're not wrong.
Now, what would be nice is if they took a page out of Primal and you have to prepare for the seasons. Like, you gotta make heavy clothing because the winter is coming, or you're gonna move into the mountains, make heavy clothing, or it's really hot. You should probably take off that heavy clothing. Oh, you're overheating. Oh, I'm sorry, you're dead.
Or bring in the Nemesis system.
Shit.
Have multiple villains like Voss.
Whoa.
What?
Now you're mashing stuff.
I don't give a shit.
I like where you're going.
Good. You know
I
you
like
like
where you're
it.
going. Yeah, I know.
Benny appreciates a good crack pairing.
Yeah. I am like connoisseur. Look.
Yeah.
It's
It's music to your
connoisseur.
music to your mouth.
Do some more. Just
Some
Or
sweetness.
how about a Far Cry where you play as an underling under the main villain?
That would be interesting. Well, at the same time, technically, for a split moment, you are that in Far Cry 4.
Yeah.
Because you meet Troy Baker's character, which I keep forgetting his name, and he knows you. He knows who you are, and you're friends with him for like a split second, and then he realizes that you're here to like do shit.
I'm gonna do a crack pairing, which you might not like, but what if you do hardcore drugs and like throughout most of the game, you do drugs in the game,
Yeah,
but
you
like
do.
you have real bad trips, and like there are nightmares or bad trips where like they're just zombies after you, and it's just you in a town mass murdering people. Like the zombies are running away from you,
but it's
but
actually
you're
people.
scared.
Yeah.
So you have to kill them.
That seems darker than I would.
Burn that zombie pupper.
That seems darker than I think that they were willing to go with Far Cry.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably.
Because Far Cry is it is.
So it's very much adult themed.
It takes itself seriously, but then they have characters that are like in Far Cry 4, they have that
The
American
stoners,
dude.
yeah.
Oh, the stoners.
The stoners.
Which that trip stuff was interesting because it also made for really good screenshots. But they have the American guy, the Guy Fieri inspired dude with the helicopter and all the guns.
Well, I got me a fucking harpoon
So
and they put TNT.
It's so
on it.
stupid, but I was totally
Some
okay
bullshit,
with it.
yeah.
I was like, it's weird. Oh, you know who I liked in that? I know we're going a little further in this, but you know who I liked in Far Cry 4? The guy who sold you guns. The guy who was on the mountain in the tent, and he kept quoting the Bible.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Interesting character.
That guy was crazy. Yeah,
Very crazy.
I think he was
he has,
covered in scars and he had diamonds and he was collecting diamonds
Yeah.
because they were blood diamonds that he felt guilty of
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he felt responsible for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
My gun is my
Man, I
justice and something.
should play that game again.
That game was good, man.
I didn't 100% it,
I want Blood Dragon too.
which will probably happen at some point.
With Blood Dragon, I feel like they're kind of moving the license around, because Trials of the Blood Dragon was the last one. I would really like to see Blood Dragon continue to hop through different games.
Wouldn't it be cool if we got
Assassin's Creed Blood Dragon?
like a downloadable Assassin's Creed where it's just stupid fucking bullshit? And
Hell
I would
yeah.
love that.
That'd be interesting.
Modern day.
Yeah.
That one I would be totally okay with modern day. I don't know.
Rising Blood Dragon. It's Dead Rising and Blood Dragon.
Right.
Smash it together. Make them keys.
Make them keys.
All right. And the last bit of news, which just came out recently, People Can Fly's comedic shooter from last generation, if you remember, Bulletstorm. Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
You ever play it?
You have a crazy kick.
Yeah.
Stuff
It was
flying.
comedic and it was combo based. Well, there's a remaster dated for next year, and it's going to be published by Gearbox on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. There aren't a lot of details. We don't know who is going to be porting it because it's not going to be People Can Fly. People Can Fly, I think, eventually turned into Epic Studio because they did Gears of War Judgment.
Yes.
But I don't think that game needs a remaster, but it's probably them looking to see if there's an interest for a second game. But I will say that it was unique as a shooter because it was comedic. It did the whole combo thing, which is pretty cool. And we don't get a lot of comedic games these days anyways. So.
I don't know if this was part of the same story, but I heard about the possibility of a Bulletstorm 2.
Yeah, that's been kind of going around for a little while. But just like with the BioShock collection, I think that this is a good way to gauge interest in a new game, which makes perfect sense. As long as I don't think, though, the only thing is that I don't think this game you can sell for $60. I don't like to talk about games in terms of price matching and so price value, but I don't think that's a remaster you can sell for $60. $40 at the most. because it wasn't a very long game. Not that longevity and price should go hand in hand, but $30 download, I'd maybe play that game again, give it a shot, because I only played it once. I was excited about it. The reason why I think a lot of people bought it, which is probably the same reason a lot of people bought the original Crackdown, was because Crackdown came with a beta for Halo 3, and it sold like fucking hotcakes.
Yeah.
And I think Bulletstorm probably did the same thing because it had a beta for Gears of War 2.
Yeah.
Or 3. I don't remember which one it was. And that's a big reason why I bought that game, is because, like, I want beta access to Gears 3.
Speaking of beta access...
Did I forget something?
Maybe you did.
Okay. The way he pointed at me right now was menacing.
Was it Behemoth? Their game, which was codenamed Game 51 or
51.
Game something, is now named Pit People.
Oh, so that's the actual...
Its official name.
Yeah.
It's currently in closed beta.
Okay.
You can apply for it for Steam and Microsoft.
Okay. Oh, it's going to be on Xbox.
Yeah, Steam and Xbox.
Okay.
It looks like a fun game.
It's looking
I
fun.
mean, I like Castle Crashers and Hominid, so we
yeah,
talked about that last week too.
You can couch co-op that game.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
do that.
It's looking really nice.
Get some drinks, download
Some
play that
bevs
shit,
and
some
couch co-op,
bevs.
RPG.
Listen to the sweet sounds of Stampa.
Stamper demanding your death.
All right, and that's it for the news this week.
Did you like my segue?
Do we talk about Twitch Prime?
Oh
Yeah.
shit! We should probably talk about that because that's a big deal.
It is a big
Oh.
deal.
All right, so
Capello now drives the Segway train.
I'm basically gonna pluck this right from the Polygon article, so credit goes to Polygon.com. So Twitch Prime is the newest enhancement for Amazon's popular Prime subscription, bringing an array of free features and services to users of popular video services and stuff like that, which is like Amazon Prime Video, which is really good. So this is the thing: if you have an existing Amazon Prime membership, which is actually $100. I thought it was $60, or $10 a month, basically. Then you have a Twitch Prime account alongside Amazon's many other Prime-powered incentives like 2-day shipping and video streaming. When Amazon purchased Twitch, we can skip that. So the service of Amazon Twitch Prime or whatever is going to be, it will include free game loot every month, like new Hearthstone Heroes or indie games even, kind of like PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Get discounts on new release box games at Amazon from pre-order until 2 weeks after launch, which is depending on how big that discount is, could be a definite competitor to like the Best Buy program or GameStop's program, especially how a lot of people now prefer to buy stuff off Amazon. You can link your Amazon and Twitch account for ad-free viewing experience. Interesting. Which is basically a Twitch Turbo. Right?
Yeah.
And you get free stuff like exclusive emotes and chat badges, which for a lot of people is a big deal. And finally, you get one free channel subscription every 30 days, which is kind of fucking cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I can just hop around to different streamers, which would be pretty great. It's just two more paragraphs. Twitch Prime will replace the pre-existing Turbo product in the countries where Twitch Prime is available: US, UK, Germany, etc. While Turbo will remain an option for other countries. Existing Turbo members can keep their subscription, but considering everything included with Twitch Prime, we hope you'll consider upgrading, says someone from Amazon. So if you have both Turbo and Amazon Prime, you may want to consider canceling Turbo, as a Twitch Prime includes all the benefits of Turbo. Because Turbo is like, what, $5 a month?
Something like that, yeah.
I think that's a pretty fucking great deal. And I will say before you guys say anything, that when Amazon bought Twitch, it was a lot of speculation. I was at the town hall for that PAX, and people were kind of like, what's going on? This is a good way to not fuck around with Twitch as a platform. Just say, hey, we're not going to leave you alone, but we're going to integrate services together. And I think this is a perfect way to do that.
Yeah, I very much agree. Like, if Amazon obviously bought Twitch for a reason.
Yes.
And
there's small earthquakes around here.
They are.
There's just tiny earthquakes.
Did you feel that?
Wow.
Spooky.
Tiny earthquakes in South Texas.
Are there going to be clowns coming out of the ground?
From the cracks?
Like the locusts? Fuck, that's terrifying.
This was a clown planet before it was colonized by Earth. Alright, so...
If you turn back the video, you'll see lightning strikes hit the floor, but it looked like a clown going in. They were planting clowns, like seeds.
Don't do this to me.
You have to water them. They're appearing here because of the recent the northern showers that are coming in.
Sure.
The clowns are getting watered and other.
Clowns are plant-based now.
Oh, that's my botanist girlfriend.
So
maybe she will save us.
Maybe she will.
Alright, so Yeah, this sort of integration is actually an excellent way to use the Amazon Twitch relationship, and the fact that they're one thing that you didn't mention, for every 100,000 tokens used, they're going to donate $100,000 to charity.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I forgot what the charity is called. It's Game Changer? It's Game something.
Okay.
But for every 100,000 subscriber tokens used, they're going to donate $100,000 to charity up to $1 million.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Now you have no reason not to do this. Also, this is probably going to bump their Amazon Prime subscription rate to a lot.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, which is great.
You should probably do it before the clowns attack.
So I know I know you can get a free month of Amazon Prime, and that will give you all
those features,
all the benefits, including the token. Now I just got off of the free subscription to Amazon Prime. I wonder, because of this new stuff, if I can get another month.
Because it's kind of like a reboot of sorts. Just use a different email.
Curious question.
Cheat the system a little bit.
I kind of have to, because the account, my Hearthstone account isn't on my primary email.
Then there you go. You got a reason to cheat it.
Yeah.
So if we have a bunch of, as long as we keep making emails, can we keep making accounts?
I think at some point they record your IP.
Probably.
Yeah, because you can only do it for so long.
Yeah, that sounds
good. Also, for the trial on Amazon Prime, you do need to put a debit card or something at some point, right?
So, curious question.
Yeah.
What if we go to a lab in, let's say, a university, and we keep using different emails?
But the thing is, at some point, if you log in from your IP to actually do stuff,
they also probably see what credit or debit cards you're
that
using.
too.
Okay.
Yeah, you
got me there.
And they also, I think, does Amazon Prime ask for your social security? No, they don't.
I don't
No,
think
okay.
so.
That's too much. Don't get any ideas, Amazon.
At Amazon.
I just need the free trial to buy a giant gummy bear and
Nice.
and my free hero for Hearthstone.
But why do you need a giant gummy bear?
Why
the fuck
Why
not?
don't you need a giant
I
gummy bear?
think you need a giant.
Don't
gummy
you want
bear.
to sleep with one?
Let me finish. You go for the giant gummy worm, which is more mass.
Yeah, but
Fuck your shit.
But nobody likes worms. People
The
like
gummy
teddy
python.
bears. Why the fuck would I want a gummy python? I want a teddy bear.
Because it's two flavors.
I want a
Gummy bears have one flavor.
I want a gummy bunny.
The gummy bunny.
Yes.
Gummy bunnies would be interesting.
Yeah.
But the worm comes in a bag, whereas the bear comes in a plastic case, which you can then make another giant gummy bear from.
A single flavor.
Yeah, but still, you can mix flavors in there if you want.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
You can do like a raspberry, cherry. There's
Yes, these hand gestures. These hand gestures sound perfect in this podcast.
Look, I'm Italian. Leave me alone.
With that said, we're done with the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to take a little break because I want some water.
Okay.
And probably a little more of the snacks
So
you
you
brought.
can have.
Yeah.
I'm full as fuck.
Alright.
I'm super thirsty. That's why I reached for this.
Okay. And well, if you guys don't have it, we can refill on some kind of drink. We'll be right back.
We need to check around the house to make sure there aren't any
Clowns.
clown heads.
No, gummy clowns. No. So guys, it has been a week since we last recorded. Holy shit! Just like any other week, really. What have you guys been playing? I'm assuming you're still playing Rise of Iron.
Yes,
Okay.
a lot.
How is that going? Well as it was last week?
Or
Or have you reached the point where it's like, okay, I'm kind of enough?
my light level has started to slow down in the steady rise. I'm at, I think I was like 350,
Mhm.
which is like okay stopping point. Where like it's like you reach a wall,
Yeah.
and now you need to do specific things, which are the Strike playlist in Heroic or the Nightfall missions, but the Nightfall require light 360, so that's a wee bit more difficult. Actually, I don't think I can do them because I'm 350. Like, they're considered a whole like level ahead of me, so they just beat your shit in real quick. I'm in the current mission where I'm attempting to get the Galahorn, my legendary Galahorn, but I think I need at least one more person.
This was the diamond encrusted Galahorn, right?
No, it's the new iron Galahorn.
So it's like silver?
Like, yeah, it has like a nice little
It's like
silver.
an iron metallic.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks pretty.
Cool.
And it is like, I didn't reserve it, but I somehow got it.
I somehow got it, yeah.
If everybody has a Galahorn, then nobody has a Galahorn.
Basically, it's true. You just have another, you just have another
No.
Bible verse.
You're fucking trying to quote Syndrome from the Supers.
What, from The Incredibles?
The Incredibles, the Supers.
The
fuck was that?
Supers.
It's that
Supers
D-list rip-off movie in
the Supers,
India.
the Supers is the DreamWorks ripoff of a Pixar movie. Is it- wait, Incredibles is Pixar, right?
Yeah, it
Okay.
is Pixar.
Just making sure. I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that shit happens a lot with was it Ants in a Bug's Life?
Oh my god, yeah, they came out almost the same year, no?
Yeah, almost close together.
Okay, hold
wasn't
on. Bugs Life was Pixar,
I don't
Yes.
remember.
and Ants was DreamWorks
Ants
or
is-
something.
I believe Ants is DreamWorks. Yeah.
That's the one about like the army, right? It's like militarized ants or something.
Fire Ants, I think it was.
I don't remember anything about those
There's
movies.
an ant that's like blown the fuck up, and it's like, tell me, I can't feel my legs. Are they okay? And you're like, they're not there. Your legs are gone,
Probably
buddy.
an adult kids movie.
Yeah, I don't remember too much of it.
In the other one, there's one that like he rubs like a blueberry on his chest. He's like, I don't have a chest anymore. They're trying to scare the queen because they're trying to prove some bullshit, and then grasshoppers appear. Apparently
yeah,
grasshoppers are dicks.
I remember enough of that. Yeah, interesting.
What was I talking about?
You were talking about Rise of Iron.
The Rise of Iron.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been farming a wee bit. I got a decent, what's it called? Exotic. But I want to not rely on exotics that much, so I've been farming legendaries.
Mhm.
And I got a special iron sniper rifle, and it's called But Not Forgotten. That's the name of the rifle.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's going. I want to...
You're getting a good grind out of it.
Yeah. There are still a couple of missions that I haven't done, like the Galahorn one. I haven't completed it, and they're a whole lot. They're going to real into getting missions that lead you to weapons. Like there is a NPC called Shiro, and he's he's Kate Six's right hand man. I had talked about this before. So when you do specific missions for him, or specific kind of like optional quests, there's a chance that you can spawn a mission for him. And when that mission is a string of quests that you do to unlock the Thorn Year 3 edition, which is a revolver that when you shoot and hit the enemy, they get poisoned. So it's a really good PvP, or for a while it was a really good
Overall
PvP. I'm not
damage.
sure if it still is. But like essentially, I shoot you twice and then run away.
Yeah,
And
because
you
it'll
die from
do
poison.
continuous damage.
Yeah.
And there's no way to counter that. Yeah, you just shot.
You can't counter
Okay.
it unless you somehow survive it. Somehow. And
Cool. And you might have mentioned this last week. I don't remember, but you're not doing Crucible stuff, right? Personally.
no, I did my first Crucible actually earlier this week,
Mhm.
and that was just for the legendary marks, which I used to feed my armor, or to not. I call it feed. I forgot what they call it in the game.
Enhance.
Enhance, I think it was. Infuse. Infuse armor. So you get a piece that's stronger than the piece that you have, and you just feed that piece onto that, and it'll grow.
Gotcha.
And you could do that if there's like a specific weapon that you really like, or a skill that you really like on a piece of armor that like goes very well with your build. You know what? Just feed it. Just feed it a couple of times. You can take it with you. But yeah, I mean that's the one that I've been playing the most. I haven't touched Overwatch. I opened the Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story
That's right. You bought
like
those last week.
once, but
You'll get to them eventually.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I opened it and I started playing, and then my nephew came in and he was like, "Hey, what's that?" And I closed it and said, "No, it's nothing. Why don't we play Mario Kart?" And he was like, "Okay," because he sees Mario, Luigi, and Bowser, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Okay,
Yeah, I'm down.
give that to me now.
Give that shit to me now.
That shit's mine.
You want to get shot?
Yeah,
You want to get shanked?
it's mine."
Uncle.
yeah.
Does he ever call you uncle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically, it's Tio Benny, and my younger brother,
Yes.
he's specifically Tio Benny.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Does he not like? Does he sometimes confuse you for your brother?
No, he just calls us both the
Both
same
Tio-
thing
that's-
for a long time.
Benny, Danny.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like for a while before that, it was Tio Nanani.
Dio Nanani.
Yeah,
alright.
because it's essentially Tio Benny and Danny Nanani
Fused
Benny
into
Danny.
one.
Yeah,
That's cute.
because we would always correct them,
Mhm.
Tio Benny, Tio Danny, and he just like mashed it together, Tio
Mm-hmm.
Nanani, and that's what it was for a good while. And right now it's Tio Benny.
Yeah.
And
That should be your dragon.
and-
Your Dungeons and Dragons name.
Theo Benny.
Tio Nanani.
Yeah.
Tio Nanani.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's
That'll
cool.
work. Yeah, dude, he's smart, man. He's New Super Mario Brothers. He's in World 8.
And that's not an easy game. For
There are a couple of things he skipped, and he does not have enough stars to do like the World 8 stuff.
Mhm.
But he got to it,
yeah.
which is like what the fuck.
Yeah.
And like every now and then I would help him. Like there's a mission where you have to climb and do bullshit, or
But he did a lot of the work on his own.
and like he understands the concept that like I can't do this stuff because I need more of the green stars.
Oh.
And like I've taken him back to like World 1 and like
Oh,
here
man.
collect 3 stars, and he freaks like he
Yeah.
finds a star and he like fuck yeah, like he doesn't curse of course,
Sure,
but like
yeah.
yeah, I found a star, give me a high five, and like give him a high five,
Yeah.
and he goes back into grinding looking for stars.
It's interesting. Like I feel like he would really like something maybe when he's a little older, something like Castlevania. There's a lot of
hope
backtracking
so.
where you have to go back and use certain skills that
Yeah.
you acquire over time. Yeah, something like that. That's cool.
Maybe at a later time.
Yeah.
'cause-
That game is definitely
Still fairly young right now.
Yeah.
That's a much darker theme. Not that those. I mean,
he has no problem with shooting people in games. of
sure.
course.
Yeah, I understand that. That's cool though.
Yeah.
Mario.
He
Do you
played-
think that he ever play Mario Maker like soon, or do you think that he'd be the one that would? He would be an individual who would like the idea of creating levels in Mario.
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. I'm pretty sure Mario Maker would be pretty cool for him because it'd be just a infinite world of Mario
Infinite
levels.
space,
Yeah.
infinite raw creative space. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
I know he's played a wee bit of the Lego games, just Lego Batman or Lego anything.
You probably like Little Big Planet, I would assume.
Maybe. I mean,
That's a
it's-
little more on the creative side of things,
Mhm.
but yeah, cool. All right, sounds good.
I also did the login for
Heroes.
Heroes, and I got my free character, and they're pushing their newest character Zarya, which isn't technically a new character. It's a new character to the game, not to the existing world of Blizzard.
Blizzard stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, Zarya being the
character from
character
Overwatch,
from Overwatch. With the
being
pink hair.
what was it?
He's a Russian.
Older Markiplier.
Older Markiplier.
Don't make fun of people in middle school.
Yeah.
And then the picture of Zarya. That's a great.
Yeah.
I fucking laughed my ass off when I saw that one.
Zarya's buff as fuck.
Yeah.
Man. So they gave her like official story in that she was in the Olympics before she joined the army to fight the Omnics.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And apparently she has unique stuff when you pair her with Zenyatta. He's like, I don't trust this Omnic. Watch your back, and then he goes, and I will watch yours. Like being the good guy.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't know that.
That's cool.
That's a cool little snake bit.
I know she says stuff with Bastion also, but I think it's along the lines of like I've destroyed like
Many of your kind
of
before
your
or
kind
something?
before, yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure he just goes beep boop boop bop
Yeah.
bork bork bork.
Bastion does sad beeps actually. It's like
That's awesome.
I like him. He's the easiest character at the time
Bastion.
to like get into.
Everybody like hates on Bastion.
I know. I don't
but
give a
like
shit. He's
a cool. He's
yeah,
a cool
like
concept.
his story thing was good.
Yeah.
You mean
last
the
Bastion.
trigger flashbacks?
The PTA, where you learn that he's a robot with PTSD.
Yeah.
It's like,
Very
man.
complex
Shit.
Yeah.
There's some feels going
There's
on
stuff
right
in there.
here.
At this
Things
point,
are happening.
Blizzard should just make an animated series.
So,
full on.
Did you see the Easter egg in that video?
No. What?
So apparently, you pay close attention enough. There's a cloud growing out of the fucking nose. Fuck you!
So hard, Ben.
Tom was already leading in. He was like, "Oh, there an Easter egg, you say?"
In the woods.
I can't believe you did this to me. Oh my god, you got me so fucking good with this.
Just enough time had passed since we had talked about class.
What are you playing this week?
How's your week been?
My
Aside
week,
from clans.
my week has been very gaming lazy. Like I haven't, like I barely played anything this week. I'm sort of waiting for that infamous BioShock patch so I can finally finish the game without it
There you go.
saving
Yeah.
every time that I crash.
Which should be. I hope it's soon because I would like to do that retrospective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if we really need to
I'm
do the
happy. I have a
retrospective.
shit-eating grin on me right now.
If we really need to do the retrospective, I have played the game 4 times, so
Yeah, but at the same time, a refresher
yeah,
is
like-
I think is necessary or
In order.
useful. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sort of waiting for that patch to go through so that I can continue the game and hopefully it doesn't crash every time I want to save.
Sure.
Because it was kind of annoying going back, set like maybe an hour or two, of worth of gameplay
Yeah.
every time that I pop the game.
Mhm.
Like I said, it's been a very
Slow week.
like lazy game week for me. Like,
Gotcha.
I've barely done anything. I have, however, been staring really hard at a particular game, and that appeared in my library recently, thanks to Todd, which we're sharing.
Steve
Accounts.
2017?
now. So,
But yeah,
um,
it's a game in my library.
yes.
Okay.
I've been staring really hard at Dankest Dungeon,
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
which I believe is probably a very apt game to play for the month of Halloween.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The
It's-
month of Halloween.
The month
It's
of Halloween.
terrifying when you know your party is going to die.
It's very satisfying when you get your shit pushed in the first dungeon and you
Yeah.
decide, fuck.
like right in the tutorial dungeon. It just does not give a shit about
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I played that. I played that like 5 or 6 times. I was fucking terrible at it. But yeah, I recommend. And it's not too demanding, so your PC probably will play
No,
it just
no.
fine.
That game, my PC will run no problem.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. Like artistically,
Mhm.
it's really great. And actually, it just came out on console, which I might consider getting it just so I can play it with a DualShock because at least that I know of, the PC version still doesn't have controller support. I don't know. I haven't looked at patch notes
Yeah.
recently or anything.
Yeah,
So
so I've been my week has been not playing games,
Yeah.
living them vicariously through YouTube and
Twitch.
Twitch.
Yeah.
And I did watch a lot of Maximilian
Bloodborne.
play Bloodborne,
Oh, boy.
which
I
like
stood up late on that one also.
Like he legit loves Bloodborne, and I like of the Souls series, Bloodborne is the one that I am most interested in. But it's sad because I don't have a PS4,
Yeah.
so and I can't I would really like to play it on PC, but
At this point, it's a Sony published game.
yeah.
But at the same time, if PlayStation Now, which is on PC now, does well, maybe they'll bring PS4 games at some point. Because I think
That
they
would be
want to have parity now that Microsoft is doing that too. They probably wouldn't put their whole library out there because why would they? They're selling extremely well. But I think Bloodborne would probably be one that would be ideal because a lot of people in the PC community would want to play that game without buying a PS4.
Yeah.
So maybe, whatever comes first, either that comes first or PlayStation 4 comes first. We'll see.
And it's also unfortunate that Bloodborne isn't getting a new port to the 4K version of the PS4.
Which is a little strange, but From is
it's a
also,
first-party game.
Yeah, From is
Moved
probably
on.
busy working on like
Stuff.
Armored Core.
Armored Core and other things. At the same time, I think the game looks good still.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
having
looks
that
good.
nice little extra,
Sure, it can do a lot, especially for a game like
or
that.
fixing it at a 60 frame from
Yeah.
30.
Yeah,
Specifically in a game where
movement is
dodging
precise,
and movement is very
needed,
important,
that latency.
having more frames is always
Yeah.
good.
I mean, frames over. I definitely am in that camp where the frame rate is very important in a
No,
game.
they don't have to change anything on how it looks. If they
No.
just lock it at 60 frames, that
Lock
would have
it,
been
yeah.
amazing.
Probably.
That would have been.
Yeah, I
Real
mean,
nice.
Dark Souls on PC at 60 or more looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Or it looks decent. At least Dark Souls 3.
Mhm.
It's decent, but cool. So, yeah, light on your game
Yeah,
this week.
very light on
There's
it.
a lot. I haven't looked at my library recently, but there's a lot of stuff I have not touched. Oh, the one I would recommend that you play is Gods Are Watching.
Transistor?
Transistor. Oh, that is on PC. Well, I don't have that in my library, though. I have that on PS4.
My brother has it in his library.
Oh, there you go.
I always have access to it, and for because I have not played Transistor.
Which is interesting
despite-
considering you like Supergiant games that much.
Yeah, like I love the soundtrack to Transistor. I love the premise of Transistor. Bastion is one of my top 5 games ever.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just
Can't get yourself to play
never.
it.
Got to it.
I just never got to it. Like I never look at Transistor and it's like, okay,
Now
now
it's
is
time
when
to play
the
it.
time to play
I mean,
it. Like,
In truth, you can finish a game in 4 hours.
yeah, I heard it's like a super short game.
But there's a ton of replayability in the game. We'll sit you down, tie you up, and you'll play it at some point.
Maybe
Alright.
for I don't wanna, we can make you play.
No, but he wants
I want
to.
to.
He wants to. He just hasn't gotten to.
It would be a special case.
Special. Maybe I wanna.
Maybe I want to.
Maybe.
I kind of wanna.
I want to, but I don't have time. There's so much stuff in my library that some of the stuff has never been played that I just pick up during a Steam sale. Quite a few actually. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. Yeah, I think my Steam account is a good profile as to all the different kind of shit that I like, because there's not a consistent theme. I think if you look at it,
No,
not really.
I saw like all the XComs on there.
It's like holy shit! It's like XCOM, XCOM Beyond the Deep, or there's like 5 of them. Yeah, because I got and there's the Bureau, but that's not. It's not. It's called the Bureau XCOM Declassified, and that's at the very top of my list. But technically, so when I pre-ordered that game, the Bureau, which is not a very good game, I will defend it. That's probably good for what's the segment that you want to do? Where we kind of talk about the good points of bad games.
Oh, okay.
Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate. I would be the Devil's Advocate for that game. But when I pre-ordered that one, it gave me all the old XCOM games for free, and I've only played one of them previously. So I'm like, fuck yeah! I've played a little bit of them here and there. They don't hold up, but they're fun. But yeah, a lot of XCOM stuff for sure.
All right, well, that's my week. Todd, what about you?
Well, I finished Bioshock 2, which I think last week I said that I had started Bioshock 2, and I think that we talked about it quite a bit in the past couple weeks, which is not bad because talking about Bioshock is kind of great. Bioshock 2, I think, is most definitively a superior game mechanically, but the plot, I feel there's some really interesting points in there, especially with the characters. My favorite character probably now is Gil Anderson.
Gil.
Who, if you remember, he is the area of Rapture that he controls. It's like he has like pre-recorded tapes and says, "Hey, I need you to kill me because I've gone insane."
Yes.
And it's that part is fascinating to me. But aside from that, I feel like a lot of the story was Sophia Lamb and also was really just shoved in there for the sake of making a sequel, which is, I think I said to you last week, is fine because I like that we get to learn more about other parts of Rapture that you didn't explore previously. I think there's only one part in that game where you do have explored in the first game. but at the same time, it also feels like a giant fan fiction in a lot of ways. And I'm not trying to be mean to the people that wrote it. It just definitely doesn't seem like something that I don't think obviously that Ken Levine would have revisited that game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And again, we drove that issue into the ground quite a bit. But I will say Minerva's Den, I don't remember it as much as I did before, but that is excellent. It's so fucking good. It's so well written. The characters are interesting. That's better than the base BioShock 2 game in every way possible. Yeah. It reminds me a lot. That one reminds me a lot more of System Shock.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people call, obviously BioShock is a spiritual successor in a way, but that feels like a definitive
System Shock
successor to System Shock, which again is written by Steve Gaynor, who took part in he's in the Fulbright Company. Okay. So he wrote Gone Home and Tacoma, which is coming up. So good writing, great writing in that, and it's about a 6-7 hour long. It's not like a short thing. No. Like there are like 3 areas you save little sisters. You do the whole bit. Big sisters still come out and stuff. It's just the story is way more. It's way more compact and it's easier to digest. Yes. But it's also way more interesting because the voice actors they got for the 2 main characters in that section did really well. Mm-hmm. So I guess if, say for example, you get the collection and for some reason you don't play BioShock 2, at least play the expansion because you can totally play it as a standalone. Because you don't play the same. You don't play Sigma, who is the Big Daddy. You play. I don't remember his name, but you play a different Big Daddy. Oh. Yeah. And it takes place around the same time that the second game begins. It's just in another part of Rapture. Well, it's in a place called Minerva's Den, which is very cool.
I don't think I got to...
The twist, I'm not going to talk about it, but the twist is good.
Twist to Standard Story or Minerva's Den?
Minerva's Den is like BioShock 1 level good.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's as much as I'm going to say.
Do you know what the twist is?
Don't you fucking do it!
Inside the Big Daddies, it's just people. You've been shoving people into the Big Daddies.
I mean, that's exactly what Big Daddies
are. That's the twist. Well, the twist is that you already knew. So sometimes they're clowns, but sometimes an unfortunate clown or two happen to get
an unfortunate clown or two. That should be the name of our band.
Man. Imagine if there was like a Twinkie splicer that got put into a Big Daddy suit.
I mean, they don't let them get that far.
That's a worthy concept, maybe.
I don't think there's been
no.
Because you already have to do so much to be a Big Daddy.
Yeah.
I think a splicer would probably just explode at that point.
Yeah. Rivet gun, my favorite gun from that game. Multi-purpose, you can do everything with it. It's great. Kind of like the crossbow. I was about to say it replaces the crossbow, but it doesn't because there is still a crossbow in that game. But yeah,
gun is super fun.
The harpoon.
That's the one. The harpoon gun.
I love the harpoon. The rocket harpoons are so satisfying. When you catch a splicer right in the fucking face with them, and it just
bam,
right into the
wall.
It's so satisfying.
It's cool though because if you have the tonic that you can retrieve them faster, and you have one pinned to a wall, you take it off and they just drop.
Yeah,
it's a satisfying thing.
It's pretty good.
So the weapon that they introduced in Minerva's Den is like a laser beam, which has like 3 different kind of ammo types. Pretty cool. Especially when fighting. Matt, you know what? They made the Brute Splicer an absolute asshole in Minerva's Den. He is, and I played on a hard difficulty, and I got killed by those things multiple times. Those things do not give a shit that you're a Big Daddy. They just go after you. But I finished that game, and I started Infinite. Now, I remember enough about Infinite because it did come out recently, but I don't remember. It's just going up, you know, when you playing as Booker and you go up from the lighthouse, you take the rocket up to Columbia. Columbia is such a... We drove this into the ground last time we talked about it, but it's one of the most unique settings in video game history. It just... No one's ever done that. And it looks beautiful. It still looks pretty good. But then if you really pay attention, and I'm glad that like the first hour or maybe even the first 2 hours...
Like, you get to just roam around.
You get to kind of roam around before shit goes down, and it's a beautiful thing. But it's like, it's there so you can understand that this city, there's something very wrong with this place, and the game is very racist, but it's not. It's not
that's
racist.
The thing,
it's
though.
the theme. It's not meant to be offensive in a way for you to think, oh, they're racist people who wrote this. But I think that was probably why a lot of people were kind of not so on the game side a couple months afterwards, like the critics and stuff, because of how they addressed race. But at that point, it's like, well, I feel like it's a period piece, alternative history period piece, because there's a lot of movies that touch on that stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess to some extent I can understand, because race is probably the most difficult thing to deal with in a video game. A lot of games don't do it very well. Mafia 3, which I read an article from Vice this week, of how they are really trying to tackle the issue of race in a game where you play a black Vietnam vet in Louisiana in the 1970s, 1960s. That's a really hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Levine had his work cut out for him. He gave himself that challenge to write something that is racially charged, but I still think it's a pretty fucking great game. Also, it plays way more like a shooter than Bioshock 1 and 2 does, because there's a sprint button in the game.
Yeah.
Also, the skyhook I love the skyhook. I love just in an area where you're in a combat zone, I love just zipping up and down and taking people down with the skyhook. It's very satisfying. But yeah, so I'm playing that. I'll have more. I'll probably finish it by the next time we record, or the next time. And I caved and I got FIFA with Sam. Played that. Not going to talk about that much. I said before, like with a lot of sports games, a lot of EA sports games, that it's like it's like every 3 where there's massive changes. It's not quite there yet, but I'm pretty sure 2018 will be the one where massive changes are made.
That's the one that has the story, isn't it?
Well, this one is.
Oh, okay.
This one. I haven't played that yet because Sam and I want to play it together.
Yeah.
But it's very prominently featured because as soon as the game loads, usually there's like 3 different menus, and the first menu pops up is like, play the journey. Just press X and do it. So they really want you to play it. And even then, I've heard that it's very good for people that like football, soccer, whatever. So I'm interested in playing that. The game looks significantly better because they use a Frostbite engine now.
Ooh.
Which it feels like, honestly, if you just walked into the room, you would think I'm watching a game on TV.
Are you able to identify other clowns in the stands? Are they
No.
trying to blend in with the people?
No, but I can identify all the players from the camera angle. They look very... I'm trying to derail you. The facial models are pretty good.
You got one good hit in bed.
Yeah,
you should retire.
I gotta try it, man.
Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah.
Just quit while you're ahead. You got me really good.
But yeah, I mean, sports games has that one thing going on with them where like they always do the best motion tracking or
Yeah,
with the face and everything.
because they have
amazing.
the way the game plays.
It's not motion
They,
tracking.
they
it's,
have
it's,
that. What's mocap?
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
mocap.
all
there we
mocap.
go.
Sure.
With the face and it comes out. It always comes out.
Like this one in particular, whenever it cuts to a highlight with a close up of a goal or a tackle or something, it looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anything, I will say it looks very pretty. I personally play a lot of career mode, which is just where I get to be a manager. But you still play the games. It's not like this weird, like those football managers that come out on Steam. It's not like that, because that's all like just statistics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I control. My favorite part of playing manager mode is whenever transfer season opens, then I go ham and I buy players and I trade players and I make my perfect team. That's what I love to do, and I role play with it. When I get bored of FIFA, what I do is I'll play a league that I don't recognize from another country, and if the commentators are in that language, I put that language of that country, and I kind of like role play like that. You can role play really. You can role play in any game if you put your mind to it. So that's how I do it when I get bored of FIFA, because there are points where I do get bored of FIFA. Again, I mentioned before we recorded that I'm glad Sammy and I got it, because at some point he will take it away from me, or I will give it to him, so I can play stuff. Because when I got it yesterday, I played it, I don't know, for like 3 hours straight.
Yeah.
I lost track of time. Also, I have a podcast game now again. because I can just put on a podcast and just turn off the audio if
That's
I want.
good.
But I think that week after next, I'll probably be able to trade some stuff to get XCOM, which is time. It's time for me to play XCOM again.
Yeah.
And I'll probably keep that game for the rest of the fall because I can play that game forever.
You're gonna get it for
PS4. It just came out. It came out the same day that FIFA did. And I was contemplating getting that first, but I was like, no, let's get FIFA, get our fix, and then we'll move on.
Shit, dirty crack addicted fix.
I mean, I'm not okay. No, I played for a lot yesterday, but I can control it.
Yeah,
That's what every drug addict says. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And then they do that hard relapse, and they're on the floor eating a burger off the
Off the floor.
Yeah, off the floor.
Also known as pulling a Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
I thought that was Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff?
It's on the floor eating a burger.
Oh, but that's him being drunk.
Yeah, well, crack addictions are many a kind.
It was Hasselhoff, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Hasselhoff is David. It's David Hasselhoff.
Don't hassle the Hoff.
Don't hassle the Hoff. All right, so that's all I've been doing. Yeah, haven't started Dragon Age yet, but I will. Do that
Anything
soon.
specific outside of just video games? Watching any show?
You
Watching
know what?
a movie?
No, but my girlfriend's been adamant about me watching a bunch of anime stuff, kind of like you guys have been.
Oh boy, I've been digging in the abyss and looking for new anime.
Mm-hmm. She's watching this one. I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Today I watched Mob Psycho.
That's the one.
Fuck yeah,
That's the one she told me to watch.
Mob Psycho.
That's pretty cool.
It ended this week.
Like completely.
Yeah, it's one season right now, and
Okay.
they hint towards maybe making a season 2,
Yeah.
but they haven't confirmed anything.
Yeah.
And Mob Psycho, it's pretty good. It's a very unique style of drawing,
Yeah, she told me that.
but it's very good.
Yeah, she went.
And all this like spirited things that involve spirits, they're done in oil painting over glass, so it's a very unique look that it has, and it looks very pretty.
Yeah, she gave me the whole fucking rundown of that show. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll watch it. She's like, no, you fucking have to watch it. She's definitely more aggressive than you guys are.
Well, I mean, you can ask Pello. Like, me and Pello watch a lot of
Oh
anime
yeah,
together.
of course, I know that.
I watched Mob Psycho without him because like I started it and I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
started with it, and it just
that's
kept
your
going.
crack. Yeah.
And like when I got Pello, I was like, Pello, you're watching Mob Psycho, and I rewatched
Rewatched
it again.
it, yeah.
So I've essentially watched Mob Psycho twice,
Twice.
and
You understand it
it's
more
pretty
now.
good.
Is it hard to understand?
No, it's
No,
not hard
It's
to
very, very
understand.
straightforward.
It's very straightforward.
Not that I don't want it to be. If it's hard to understand, that's fine by me.
If you want something that's a bit more I wouldn't say more interesting, but a bit more like,
Complex.
I guess maybe complex. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah. She's told me that too a couple times.
Way more seasons.
Yeah.
So technically,
I did tell her like when we started talking about that kind of stuff, I told her if you're gonna recommend any just stuff that recently started and Mob Psycho whatever passes.
Mob
one
Psycho
of them.
100.
That's only what?
One season.
12 episodes?
12, yeah. 12
That's totally
episodes.
doable. So I probably will watch it soon because like you, she calls it homework.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Awesome.
Yeah.
Now we need to find something. We need to give her homework.
Well,
She's
we'll-
giving old Toddy boy homework. We gotta give her homework.
or like you both have to give me homework and see which one out homeworks.
The other.
Out
Oh,
homeworks. Okay.
Have you seen Space Dandy? Space Dandy.
You talking about that one? I was like,
Space
really
Dandy
unique.
is
you think
very.
That, you said that Sam. That's something Sam would probably watch. You said too.
Yeah.
Like one day we're at his house.
Space Dandy is a little lighthearted. It has a couple of like hard hitting episodes.
Uh-huh.
Like there's my favorite episode, which has a very unique song in there, which is Pa un something defunto.
Oh, it's in Spanish.
It's the name of the song,
Oh, okay.
and it's very nice. It's an instrumental and it sounds very pretty, and it's very interesting.
Yeah. Aside from that, I haven't been. Oh no, I haven't watched. No, I haven't watched anything this week.
Haven't watched anything?
No, I think I'm going to start watching Luke Cage at some point because I heard it's really fucking
I heard
good.
people
Yeah.
talking about
I
it.
heard it's like people are saying it's better than Daredevil, which is
Well,
like okay, I'm
it's
down.
high praise.
High praise. That it. One of the reviews I read was like, "This is what it's like to be a hero in the real world,"
Mm.
and it's like I'm down for that because it sounds almost Nolan-esque, where Nolan grounded Batman to an extent. Also, I mean, Netflix does good shit. We also run that into the ground, but they do. Yeah. Yeah.
As for myself and watching stuff outside of video games, finished Mob Psycho, still watching JoJo.
We're behind
Diamond
on
is
episode
Unbreakable, season technically 2.
3, if you want to go by OPs.
By OPs, it's the third OP.
Yeah.
Before we came over here, we saw the OP and we were comparing and noting differences, and that character wasn't there before. Who the fuck is this? Why is this hand there? That is one of the things we said while watching the OP. Why is this hand there?
You're very much invested in it.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And I also saw 3 different Gundam animes.
Okay.
But she is like he's like mixing his drugs. Like he's like it's like
Whiskey and beer.
No, it's like I'm watching a video on how to make whiskey or how whiskey is made while I'm taking sips out of whiskey, going, this is good whiskey.
And like you're lifting your arm and you see this syringe just poking out of his arm.
You're like, ow!
It's like he's looking at whiskey recipes, and meanwhile, like there's a giant pile of fucking cocaine, and you just see him like, yeah, this is a good whiskey recipe.
So what you guys mean by that, I should say, is I'm currently working on a Gunpla kit. It's the Gundam Gusion Rebake from Iron Blood Orphans.
Right.
I'm currently dry brushing the inner frame in gunmetal gray. It's going. It's happening.
Progress is being made.
Yeah.
So he's doing this while watching 3 different Gundams at the same time.
No.
That's kind of
Well, I
dangerous.
tested 3 different Gundams. I saw the first 2 episodes of Gundam Iron Blood Orphans. The first 2 episodes of Gundam, what was it?
69.
The Char's one.
Origins?
Gundam Origins with Char. And Gundam Unicorn 0069. 0069, I saw the first 2 episodes with you. I'm currently on episode like 8 or 9. I'm kind of liking it. It's okay. Fuck is politics happening in that game. That show. And also recently I started looking back at the Dynasty Warriors Gundam game series because just button mashing. Just cool shit happening. And at least at the very moment I still have the most current version, which is on the PS3. Unfortunate. But I'm going to have to reconnect the PS3 and maybe touch it at some point. Because I have it, I played it, I don't think I finished it.
Do you feel like it's a hassle reconnecting your PS3?
Well, it's a hassle because of all the wires that are there.
I understand that. Yeah.
I think I have to share a HDMI.
I recently plugged it in again and put it out here. So
Yeah.
I've been playing Ni no Kuni and Red Dead a little bit here and there. So
That Red Dead, though.
Red Dead's fucking great.
Yeah, and well, once I had finished watching all that, and but for there was a short while when I was staring at Gundam Breaker, and I was like,
I have like 4 needles in my arm. It might be.
I think I'll grind out some light while listening to a podcast on Destiny.
No, I feel like this.
And then like I was playing it, right.
Mhm.
I was like thinking of fucking Gunpla. I was like, oh fuck, I'm in there.
It's like I imagine you like sitting down watching this stuff, but like the drug metaphor of it, like you have like a bowl of ice and you pour some whiskey. You have a bowl of ice, grab a little of ice, right? But then it moves over to another bowl just full of painkillers.
Just put them in there.
Also,
so great.
You get like there's a third bowl and it has crack cocaine,
Yeah.
and you just sprinkle a
Sprinkles.
little bit. You know.
there's also that weird dude anime that we had started with Danny,
Oh yeah.
the guy that just can't look bad.
Mhm.
Like I kind of want to continue watching it just for like the goofs that it has. We never got back
Continued,
into it,
yeah.
but that one's supposed to be pretty funny.
I watched. Actually, I did watch the new Star Trek finally.
Oh really?
Yeah, Beyond.
Ooh.
It's good. It's better than the previous one by a lot, I think. Because Beyond Into Darkness was okay.
Into Darkness is the one that has like Spock and original Spock or something like that.
Well,
Yeah,
he's in the first two.
That's the one with Brandy Weinkomber Snatch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spoilers. He plays
at the very end.
Han.
Oddly enough, there's a little Easter egg. The young.
Yeah.
Hold up.
No.
The young Spock wasn't able to do this, so what they did is they glued his fingers together. No bullshit. They glued his fingers together so he can do it, and like that's why like when he does it, like the old Spock does it right, and it's in clear view, and the younger Spock does it, but he's not in clear frame because his hands are shaking and he's trying to separate them, but they're glued together.
Is that an actual thing?
That's an actual thing.
I was really.
I will prove it to you.
How-
I
once
was
you
fucking
finish.
waiting for the
He
clown
couldn't
to come
do
out.
this. I don't know, but can you do this?
Yeah. I'm a nerd.
No, this.
No.
So it fucks with your head a little bit to do it. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
You're in there. You gotta. No.
Move these two
uh,
back and
yeah.
forth like this, not these.
So, well, yeah, the guy had his fingers glued, and he did like a shitty, like a.
Wow, that's intense.
That's
You're
weird.
welcome. I didn't talk about clowns in that one, did I, you asshole?
No, you didn't.
The viewers had no idea what we were doing with
Nope.
our hands, unfortunately, but...
Oh yeah, that moves real good into podcast form, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Can you do this? And then
Can you
there's
do
like a
this?
couple of seconds of silence. Huh.
Do
No,
what?
I cannot.
The movie is very good. I think it's not amazing, but I think considering how a lot of the movies that have come out of theaters this year were kind of this is like a nice surprise. So I liked it enough. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but I liked it enough. But yeah, so before this goes any further,
Before fingers being glued
before
together.
fingers being glued together and fucking clowns everywhere,
Hey, this time you brought it up.
I did, and then I ended it. Let's go ahead and go into the last part of our podcast, steaming reviews.
Ooh.
So, again, it's very difficult to... At some point, I think you guys are going to have to help me out and look for stuff, but that means that we would have to trade off positions.
Mhm.
But this week, I only have 4. And I changed the format of how I write them down so I don't have to say the name by accident. That's something that I've almost done ever since we started doing this shit.
Bad time.
Yeah.
I think you actually did it once,
I
right?
think I might have.
No, I don't think he's... I don't think
Got really close to it, though. And then I stopped myself. Alright, so the first game is recommended at 74.4 hours played on record and posted April 13th of this year and reads, quite simply, the combat is just as fluid as your tears will be.
Combat is just as fluid as your tears will be.
Mhm.
Combat is as fluid as your tears.
Is this FPS? Is this
Not an FPS.
Beat 'em up, RPG?
RPG-esque.
RTS?
No. RPG.
So,
High fantasy? No fantasy? Post
Definitely
apocalyptic?
high fantasy.
high fantasy.
Not... I don't... Post-apoc... I mean...
Tears.
Not post-apoc.
So it's
Last
a
of
game
Us.
with...
No. It's not on Steam.
It's a game with feels, then.
I think about that a different way, maybe.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the game, one of the games has feels in it, I guess.
One of the games, so it's a series.
Yes, it is a series. It's a series you know well.
Fluid as your tears will be. Is it like Dark Souls?
Yes.
Okay.
Dark Souls 3 in particular.
Okay.
Huh.
DS3.
I don't know about my tears in that game.
As in, like
Tears of
difficulty.
Frustration.
Tears of Frustration, yeah.
Yeah.
That game feels good.
Which is, yeah,
Not as good as Bloodborne. Bloodborne is like
is excellent.
smooth.
Next game.
Smooth.
Smooth?
Yeah, it's so smooth.
It's smooth.
It's like smooth, but smooth and FPS together. Smooth.
Yeah, smooth.
That's good, I like that. We gotta trademark that now.
Smooth.
We'll ask Marcos to do that for us.
Like teeth.
The next game is recommended at 13.9 hours played on record and posted May 14th of this year. All these reviews are from this year. And this reads, this is 10% violence, 20% marine, 15% concentrated gore, blood, and speed, 5% chainsaw, 50% kills, and 100% reason to fight like hell.
What? Doom.
Yes, Doom.
I was about to.
So that's a song.
Is it? That's a song?
It's not High Voltage. It's by Fort Minor.
Yeah.
Did not
remember the name.
Remember the
100%
name.
reason to remember the name.
Interesting. You got that one quickly. All right, next one. Fuck. I almost said the name, despite it being the last thing on the bottom. Recommended at 163.4 hours played on record. Give it a shot. And posted April 5th of this year, and reads, I gave a guy a soda and he gave me his pants. One step closer to saving New York. The look on your face.
What's it called? Oh no!
It's a Rocket League situation again.
It's not. I'm having trouble with this one, but Ben probably.
I gave a
Damn
guy.
it! I know it. I clearly know
I
it.
gave a guy a soda and he gave me his pants. One step closer to saving New York City. It's not there, but it's New York City, not the state.
I'm drawing a blank.
All right, it's a shooter,
Yes.
RPG elements. It came out this year.
It's a game I said that I need to get to because I bought it and I never played it. On PC. I have it. It's there.
Oh, The Division.
There you go.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
You had that one.
No, I did. And I know it. The name fucking escaped me.
All right, last one. This is a bit longer.
And
Recommended at 1 hour played on record, which is strange. Posted March 20th of this year, and reads: You are the Dark Lord Sauron, and you have Golem, and you have minions that kill and wreck everything on your command while saying things like "Yes, Master."
Oh, my lord!
Damn it!
Yes, Overlord.
I was about to say it.
I'm gonna finish the rest of it. You travel to the village of Bree and rid it of its nasty little hobbits. After this, you will travel more and more to gain more power. 8 out of 10 were Lord of the Rings again.
That game is quite literally.
Very
You even
much.
look like a badass fucking Dark
I mean, you
Knight.
kinda look like-
walk around.
Sauron a little bit.
Yeah.
You just
They made
hold
sequels to that, right?
You hold your sword. You just
There's an
point that
Overlord
shit.
too.
There's
Yeah.
a Lord too.
Yes,
I
sir.
thought there was also a free-to-play version of that.
I don't know about that.
Could be wrong. All right. So I think you guys are tied for this one.
Yeah, I think it was 2-2.
2-2.
Yep. That's about right.
Oh my lord!
I played the demo for the first game.
I played the first one.
I thought like it wasn't in my realm. I'm not super into Pikmin. They remind me a lot of Pikmin.
Mhm.
So I was like, nah, this is not for me. But my cousin really liked it a lot.
Overlord 1 is pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
it isn't
It's
that
got
bad.
it has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, so people like it.
Also, it has pretty great humor.
Yeah, it's
It's
got like
really
some kind of
funny.
weird humor going
In
on.
part 2, you craft your weapons by dumping your minions in the correct pattern.
That's
Like
funny.
you need to get the right ratio of
Mhm.
demons,
Mm.
because demons like little goblins and dudes, and that's how you make weapons or whatnot. If I remember correctly, or I think you dump minions to improve areas,
or like to
something like that.
like level up or something.
to like level areas in your castle or something like that.
Oh, you have a castle, you have a base.
in two, yeah.
Oh, okay. And that one was just called Overlord 2. There's no subtitle to that one.
No, I don't think there's a
Okay.
subtitle.
Well, we're done, and we're going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we have a little more recording to do, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So, have a good October. Have a good Halloween.
Yeah, you almost
Yeah,
broke
no,
it yourself.
We have to lynch you now.
No, that's
1,000 steps with a wet noodle.
That's racist.
How?
It's racist.
1,000 steps with a wet noodle?
I mean, that
Oh,
sounds
Jesus.
that sounds pretty racist to me.
I don't know what videos you're watching. Where
What
that's racist.
videos I'm watching? Have a good first week of Halloween.
Happy Halloween the 1st.
The first,
Thank
the
you
second,
for listening.
the third, the fourth, the fifth,
Also very.
the sixth,
You were tiptoeing across
the
that.
seventh. All right.
7.
and fade to music.
Yes. Press stop.
Is that square or circle?
Square.
Let's do something.
Still recording.